If you clicked on this video, it shows that you are concerned about your financial affairs in the future and you want to start preparing to make sure that you are financially free. And I want you to know that you are not alone and it's never too late, so you can start at any time. Have you ever been broke before? Lack of finance is a bad thing, and as a result, you can't even think straight. And it's easy for you to bow down to peer pressure or pressure generally. This brings us into the topic we're about to discuss. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Adunola. The first thing to note, or what to start with, is to track every penny, every inflow that comes into your account, every outflow that goes out of your account. Know your numbers. Look for how to cut down on your expenses and increase your income. What do I mean by that? For example, you are living in the same city with your parents and your parents have a basement or somewhere you can stay, and then you go ahead to rent your own apartment. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you know that you are starting to build your finances, it is not reasonable for you to move out. If you can easily stay in the same city with them, you can just get that part of the basement. You pay no rent or pay little rent if your parents ask you to. Rent is a very major expense, especially in the Western world. So you cut down these expenses by moving into that basement, or let's say family or somewhere that you know that this place is very vacant and I can take advantage of the opportunity. Why not move there and cut down this expense? This next point I'm about to make is quite contradictory to what I just mentioned. Shift your mindset from saving money to making more money. That does not mean that you should not save money. It means that as much as you are saving money, you need to make more money so that when you have more money, it's easier for you to increase your income. For example, you want to save more money and then you are cutting down on foods that can nourish your body, that can help you think well. Does that really make sense? No, except if you're in a very tight corner. But the best thing for you to do is to look for more income sources rather than cutting down on things that can nourish your life as little as having a good meal. After saving your money, the next thing you would want to do is to start as early as possible to invest. And this gives you a compounding interest. You can start with as little as $5 every month. You invest in dividend stocks, you invest in ETFs, then you invest. There's something called the S&P 500 in the US stock market. This is when different companies come together and put their stocks together. So in that way, if you are investing in the stock market, there's a less probability that you are going to miss out. Let's say out of the 500 companies, a stock goes down. Instead of you buying just that stock and losing out completely, because you are buying in the S&P 500, there's another stock in that market that is going up, that is making so much money. By the time you average your funds in the stock market, you are not losing out as a whole, and most times you tend to gain more. The next favor you can do to yourself if you want to build future wealth is plan to work longer. Plan to work longer for yourself. Build high income skills. Try to have passive incomes by doing other things. Let's say you are a corporate person. Try to do other things like making money online, selling ebooks on Amazon, and all of those things. You don't need to have everything at once, but you can start from somewhere. And the more you quest for knowledge, the more you can get to know, is this good for me? Is this what people want? Then let me delve into it. And you will discover that you start making more money, that you can compound. And in the future, you make more money. When you have more money, it's easier for you to make more money. I hope you get the drift. You've come this far because you're enjoying this video. Do me a favor by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving a comment below. All the things that I've mentioned above might seem like a lot, especially if you're a very young person and you're thinking, where do I start from? That was why I said you should start early. If you're 18 years old and you start investing $5 every month, do you know what that means when you're 50? It can really seem a lot and you might feel like, where can I go with this information? This is overwhelming. Where do I start from? I want you to have faith in yourself and believe that you're strong enough and you're capable of doing this by taking it one step at a time in order for you not to be overwhelmed. And believe and trust in the process that things will definitely get better as you take it one step at a time. You'll definitely be happy with yourself in the future that you are financially free. That's the whole joy of this painstaking process. Never stop learning. Invest in your personal education. Read books. Books recommendations I can give you is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, The Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and so many other good books that can help your mindset to grow. Then you also need to attend networking events. If you can join social clubs or go to gyms where you have people that are valued there, people you can make friends with and gain more and see the way they are living their lives. If you blend more with people that are rich or wealthy, there's a high probability that you would also increase your income to become rich and wealthy, because you cannot be stagnant with being with a community like that. Then you can also join charity communities, NGOs. That's where you meet people like this. Every single person in your life should have an abundance mindset, because the energy spreads. Like I said, when you surround yourself with people like this, you begin to radiate that kind of energy and you would want to do better with your life. Whereas if you spend time with people that are not really so interested about bettering their future, trust me, what do you expect? At the moment, let's assume that you are really not in a very good environment to be with people like this. You can moderate your mindset by being with them in spaces where it's easier for you to connect with them, by the podcast you listen to. You don't have to be in the same location with these people. Take note of the people you follow on Instagram or other social media platforms. Then normalize abundance in your life. Always have the mindset that you have enough. Always live below your means. Don't buy something if you cannot afford it twice. Though there is an exception to the rule, you are just starting out your business and you need to do content creation, and what you need for your content creation is $1,000 and what you have is $1,500, and you've been saving this money for, let's say, 6 months. It doesn't make sense for you to say you are not buying the $1,000 equipment when you know that the $1,000 equipment can help you to have a better result and make money faster, especially when you started gaining traction and making a few bucks here and there. Do you understand what I mean now? Buy it, but in a situation where you want to splurge, it does not make sense for you to buy a liability when you cannot afford it twice, 3 times, 7 times, 10 times. You have to watch what you have before you decide to buy anything. Most rich people are very conservative, and if you see them spending like they have all the money, that means they've been very rich. They've had all that money since. They just chose not to spend it publicly as it is. You need to be very watchful. Don't try to impress anybody. At this point, you are building. You're not trying to impress anybody. If anyone says you're not looking the part, if anyone says you don't have the steez, you don't have the steez, but in the long run, you would have the steez. Who wins? Don't compare yourself to anybody. Start using the right language. Stop saying I cannot afford it, according to Robert Kiyosaki, and start saying how can I afford it? Because when you say I cannot afford it, it shows that you have a limiting mindset and you're not willing to go the extra mile to see how you can get money to buy or do whatever you want to do. You need to change your language now so that your mindset can be open. You can be more open-minded to receive abundance in your life and plan better for your financial future. Stop buying to show up, like I said earlier on, and start buying to grow. It means that, do I need to hire this person to do a part of my business for me? You're spending money to grow, and in the long run, you're going to grow because as a result of the person performing this task and all, it gives you a very good result for you to be able to make more money. Stop impressing and start growing. After making all this money and you've made money to a great extent, what do you need to do? You need to start getting properties, start owning properties, get rental income. Let's assume you buy a 4 or 5 bedroom duplex and you're still single, you don't have a family, you don't have children yet to occupy those places. What would you do? You can let out part of the house as Airbnb and start earning rental income on it instead of leaving it as a liability where you're paying light bills and all. Make money from it and increase your income the more. The next is to have a credit card when you qualify for it. It helps you build your credit score. Don't mind when people say having a credit card gets you into trouble, yada, 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 all those stories. What you need to do is just that you have to be very disciplined. You transfer all the expenses you have, let's say for that month, from your debit card into your credit card. And when you put it in your debit card, you start spending from there for your transport, your groceries, and other things you use for your day-to-day activities. With this, you build your credit score. If you are in the US, you will be able to qualify for the American Express card, and it depends on the country that you are based. What do you need to do next? Stop making excuses and start taking action. There is a bad side to everything in life. You just have to pick the one that works for you. Would you rather stay and not do anything and suffer for the consequences in the future? Or you do all these things, take the pain upon yourself and build your wealth? Just think about it.